All right, everyone, welcome to this week's Franchise Empire newsletter. I'm here with Kevin. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Kevin's in Party Central, USA.
Yeah, I'm in Vegas. Now that I'm a little bit older, Vegas is it's maybe a little too much for me. I'm realizing now, but yeah, it's still a fun city. But here, learning about what it takes to sell a business actually, which I think is some good knowledge for us to have when we're working with people that want to grow something to sell. So yeah, learning a lot here at a conference, but having some fun too.
Yeah, which is, I guess, we've never really talked about on the newsletter with you and Amanda, your wife, owning a business brokerage franchise, which is pretty cool because not only is it a franchise, but it's so intertwined with the world and the work that you do and we do, and like you're learning so much at this conference that adds so much value to what it is that you do on this side of things, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been great so far, and interesting to see how banks look at a business versus buyers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Well, on today's newsletter, so we changed it up. So instead of this saying a generic thing now, it's going to say in 5 minutes or less. It's going to say exactly what we're talking about. So making upgrades, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to talk about a junk franchise resale in Austin, Texas that shows annual revenues of 1.69 million. We're going to talk about a client case study for someone who almost bought the wrong franchise and how she avoided it. And that would have been quite regretful. We're going to talk about a franchise that shows 5.2 million in average sales in their FDD, with the top franchisee doing a absurd $36.8 million in sales. And then the latest episode of the Franchise Empire show. But I was scrambling for time and putting this together, so the message is quite short today.
Man, you're slacking.
And by the way, if you want to get this newsletter in your inbox at 8:30 on Sunday morning, you can go to franchiseempire.com/newsletter, and you can get it in your inbox. You don't have to wait for this video. But my message to you is to choose your hard, right? And the reality is that yes, owning a business and starting a business is hard. That, like, there's nothing easy about it, no matter how sexy we make it sound, no matter how sexy the franchisor makes it sound, no matter how sexy anyone makes it sound. It is hard. Guess what? The best things in life are hard. Parenting is hard. Kevin and I both have two young ones, both under the age of 5. And it's like, parenting is the hardest thing in the world that I've ever done, but it's also the most fulfilling, you know? So I think at the end of the day, if you're not happy at work and like you're commuting or something and you're like, man, this sucks, it's hard, that you're so scared to start a business, at the end of the day, you just got to choose which hard you want, because both are going to be hard, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. We were talking last night at dinner, and my wife, the first year in her business was really hard. And she was having like doubts, the fear starts to set in, and the limiting beliefs. And, I told her, you just have to keep going and push through. Like, you will be successful in it. You just have to keep working at it. And now she's crushing it. She's in year 2 and she's doing amazing, but it's hard. I mean, especially that first year can be very difficult. Some businesses more than others, but yeah, you just got to have the right mindset. And like, I think it's important also to have like a support structure around you that's going to keep pushing you forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Support structure is everything. Everything, 100%, which is cool. And I don't want to waste too much time here, but I like what we get out of each other and the conversations you, me, Krista have, and even just some of the other folks on the team. It helps a lot, because there are moments where things get hard or frustrating or whatever, and it is important to have the right people around you, which I think why some of the people in our the zero to profitable franchise system are, wind up being so committed to following through, because there is that structure around them, and them seeing other people in the community buying and successful, and it makes a huge difference. But let's jump into it. The first resale we have is junk luggers. So tell us about this resale.
Yeah, I mean, as the name you can probably gather, it's a junk removal business. So they were started in 2004 in Connecticut, and then started franchising in 2012. They were acquired by the Authority Brands umbrella. I don't know when they were acquired, but they're part of the Authority Brands family of franchises. So I think it's roughly a dozen different home services franchises under that portfolio. But this one it's a really unique and good opportunity, because when I say unique, it's like Austin is really difficult to find franchises, and especially resale franchises. It's just such a fast growing market, popular market. A lot of franchises get taken quickly. So, I wanted to definitely show this. Most of the Austin market is included in this territory. There is some territory on the southeast side that's not included, but pretty big metro area that's covered. The asking price for this junk luggers resale is $750,000, and that includes 4 trucks, so the big junk removal trucks, and then 8 containers. So they have 2 verticals. One is the junk removal trucks that'll come and do it for you, and then they also have the containers they drop off and then come and collect. So 2 different revenue streams there. But this is a fully operational business. There's 2 managers in place, actually. So I believe the owner is, not in it full time, which could be appealing for some people. So 2 managers in place, 10 total employees, 2023 revenue of 1.69 million. So owner is, I think they're retiring and moving to a whole different state. So they want to sell. But yeah, interesting opportunity. Based on the asking price, you'd assume that the seller discretionary earnings are pretty solid for this. And then, there are a lot of assets included, a pretty big team in place. So, I keep saying this every week, but a turnkey opportunity you can step into and kind of start to run day one. So yeah. Have you heard of this one, Tarek? Are you familiar with it or not necessarily?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't know a ton about them, but yeah, what an attractive, sounds like an attractive resale opportunity. Generally speaking, the higher the purchase price, the better. What we know, right? Uneducated buyers will think, oh, that's so expensive. But especially Kevin being at a conference for people on selling their business, generally speaking, the higher a business, the higher it sells for, the higher the price, the better it's doing. It's not always the case, and I'm sure there's a little bit of a nuance here with it, including some assets. But still, yeah, it seems like Austin or just Texas in general. I remember Dallas is one of the markets that sell out the quickest with a lot of new and up and coming franchises. So.
Yeah, DFW and Austin are difficult, even Houston, but Houston's so, I mean, yeah, Texas is just a whole different beast for sure.
Are you also, if you're in the Texas market and you want to learn more about this franchise and get introduced to them through our team, you can set up a free call. Or if you just want to learn about franchise resales that are available in your specific market, then you can go to franchiseempire.com/resales. Or, of course, if you get the newsletter, you can just click that link. It'll take you to not that page because that's the preview. So it doesn't show up as the right thing. All right, client case study. So this is Tara. And so Tara came through our zero to profitable franchise system, and she was already talking to a franchise, and we were helping her with due diligence. This was actually a while back. Tara was in the very initial group 2.5 years ago when I started this, and when I taught it live over a 6-week period. That was how it was done. It was the beta version. But she made it all the way through to Discovery Day and actually meeting the owner of the franchisor, and then decided to pull the plug because of some stuff that she found out through franchisee validation and quickly pivoted, bought a different franchise. And so the point being is that, look, there are over 4,000 franchises. And if you try to just stick this out on your own by yourself, or, ignore what you're hearing from franchisees and, stick to your biases, then you can get in big trouble. And, one of the biggest values that, really where we support people in our team is through really helping you make the right decision. Even if, like, at some point, if Kevin and the team have showed you 5, 10 options, whatever, like, the team's going to be very transparent with you in terms of what we think may not be the best opportunity or is a good opportunity. I mean, you've told me, Kevin, sometimes people are adamant that, like, we want to look at these type of franchises, and you're like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, obviously I'll show you some if that's what you want, but, like, we'll always be honest, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll show them the data, and they can compare it against other ones that I may recommend over those, and they can make their own assessment and go through due diligence. And ultimately, it's your decision. I think I really like to hear these stories though when people go through validation and then don't pull the trigger, because I think it just solidifies, like, you have to go through that process the right way. And sometimes people get so discouraged, like, I'm giving up. And it's like, no, like, you made a great decision. You've, like, done all your research. It was hard work and it is kind of a bummer, but at least you didn't, like, get into this franchise and realize after investing all that money and making a long-term commitment. Now you have the beauty of, like, we can go back to the drawing board and find a better opportunity for you. So it can be part of the process. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes people, like, will get into one very quickly and go through the proper amount of due diligence. But yeah, I mean, I like hearing stories like this, because if you feel like going through the validation process with franchises is too difficult of a thing for you, then you probably shouldn't own a business, in my opinion.
100%.
I don't know if that's too direct or not, but, like, I'm like, it can be hard, but it's also like, you got to just suck it up. It's not that, like, hard to go through the process and learn about businesses. And if you do think it's so much, then maybe owning an actual business when you're really going to get into the day-to-day and challenges is not the best fit for you.
Oh, 100%. And I think you and I are starting to, well, one, we think very similarly, but the more and more I do this, and we help people, the more and more I'm like, I have little patience to deal with people who don't want to put in the work and don't want to put in the effort and want something for nothing. And look, I get it. We all want passive income. We all do. I want passive income. I know Kevin wants passive income. Like, we all want to make more and work less, right? But there's a lead up to that, and typically it's from paying the price on the upfront, and typically that price needs to be paid for a period of 3 to 5 years. If you go all in for 3 to 5 years, what you can create is incredible. But for those of you who aren't willing to put the work in, then yeah, like, maybe business ownership is not right for you, and that's okay. Maybe it's going to take something painful to occur in your career, like getting laid off, or a few more years of realizing that you hate being in X corporate environment or whatever it is, and then finally that creates the drive and motivation for you. That's okay too. But, like, let's not pretend. Yeah, if you can't pick up the phone and call 10 franchisees and, like, have a, like, tactical conversation around, like, how they performed in their business and what it's like, and if you give up just because a franchisee didn't call you back after the first or second time, you're in trouble.
Yeah. No, it's like, oh, it's so frustrating. I'm like, well, did you call them again? Or, I mean, it's like, they're busy entrepreneurs. Like, just, I don't know. It is an indication. Like, we talk about these telling points. Me and you always talk about that, like, responsiveness to emails and stuff like that, and, like, willing to keep pushing through. Those are all indicators of, I think, if you're going to really enjoy and be successful in a business.
100%. 100%. Well, let's talk about
I would love to own this business, but it's not available in many markets, unfortunately. But yeah, this business is crazy. Precision Door. It's a neighborly brand, so they do garage door repair and installation. It sounds like nobody like that would think of this business that doesn't hasn't looked at it would think like, yeah, you can be a multimillionaire in owning a garage door and repair and installation business, but the numbers don't lie. So yeah, this business, I like to show it whenever it's available for the right candidate if they're open to like service based businesses. The problem is, like I mentioned, they do have bigger territories. They're pretty well established, so there aren't a ton of openings. But man, I advise my clients if there is an opening in your market, I would 100% at least go through start validation with them to learn more because it's such a good opportunity. But yeah, if you look at it, I mean, even like the royalties, like as your revenue increases, they decrease down to 2%, which is just really cool in my opinion, because it is built to scale. Like they want owners that are going to be a true CEO and scale it into the multiple millions. So they reward you as you scale by reducing the revenue or those royalties, which is nice. So, and when you look at the total investment range, I mean, from what I understand, it's closer to 250, 300. But the investment range compared to the potential is like you really don't see that in a lot of franchises. The potential ROI in this is pretty insane. So, garage doors, it's anything from installing new garage doors, like the new like battery controlled ones, like doing repairs. I mean, I don't know all the specific services, but springs that are broken or whatever it may be. I guess there's a lot of stuff that you can repair and fix on garage doors that I never even realized. So but you look at let's go down to the good part, the financial data. If you look at that, the average gross sales for the reporting units 5.28 million, with their high doing 36.8 million, which is it's just crazy. You don't see AUVs that high in almost any franchise.
Yeah, that that's absurd. When I pulled it up after you guys put it in the newsletter, I was like, what?
Yeah.
That is crazy. Now the median is more representative of what's in the middle, but still 4.1 as the median, and 36.8 million as the actual highest gross sales. I mean, I am curious like how many territories that involves, but that is still absurd.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I would be curious too, and where they're located. But still, I mean, even if you look at the medium sales, it's pretty wild. And I mean, the nice thing is like if you think about it, it's not really like a lot of the technicians are just going out and giving a quote and doing the work and collecting cash right there. Like for new installs, you probably need like a salesperson or a sales team, but it's pretty like quick turnaround on your projects. Like they're quick projects, and then they have the 24/7 dedicated call center. So if somebody calls at midnight, they have a call center that'll answer it and get on a text schedule for the next day, which is pretty cool. But I like it also because it's like so specialized where you can train somebody to how to repair like a spring or like install a new motor or whatever it may be. It's not like you're doing a full-blown custom like kitchen remodel where there's so many different moving parts. You got to get an electrician out and a plumber and all this other crap, and it's very aesthetic. This is more like you can train guys how to do this over and over and over again, and making that replicable process for your techs. I think that improves your margins because the projects don't take that long.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, what I'm saying, because like a project, it doesn't take that long for them to come and replace one of these, but they still charge $1,000 or whatever it may be. So it's a quick turnaround. You do like 3 or 4 of those in a day. I mean, it's a nice business.
Oh yeah, that happens. That's a lot of service businesses. I remember something happened with our faucet where it like when I tried to turn it off and I guess the part just snapped, and then I called a plumber, and literally like he was there for no longer than 30 minutes, and it was like $350. The part was not that expensive of a part, but it was one of those bigger plumbing companies where they have all sorts of overhead and dispatch, and so it's like everything is just more expensive. But it was just like, dude, you were here for literally less than 30 minutes. I think he was there for like 15 minutes. I was like, "You're done already?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, your total would be like 347." I was like, "Roger that."
Yeah. I mean, it's they're good businesses though. I mean, it's like, well, you got to get it fixed, and they come out and are responsive. I mean, you pay for the convenience in a way as well.
True. What's funny is that we've been having issues with our garage door. I thought it was funny when you literally this morning, as I was leaving the house, I was like, "Oh, I got to call someone to come take a look at the garage." And then I hadn't looked at what you guys had put as the new, in the newsletter yet. And then when I was taking a look to write my part, I was like, "Oh, that's so funny. What are the odds of that?" But we've been having
Oh,
issues where it's not closing. I don't know if the sensor's going bad, but I would adjust it and everything, and I'd try to close it like literally 7 times in a row. Keep saying that something blocking it. It's not, and I'd have to pull like the emergency red handle to like manual close it.
yeah.
Um, so
Well, it can cause big problems because we had in our old house in Omaha, we had I woke up one morning and the damn garage had just like not shut, and it was below zero in the middle of winter, and our pipes froze, and right inside on the basement level. So it's like it can create huge issues. But so yeah,
oh dang,
yeah,
then you're calling a restoration company.
yeah, no, yeah. Then you're calling like three different companies.
Dang. All right. Well, if you guys want to find out, move quickly. I would say because this is one that's not available in a lot of markets. So, but if you want to find out if this franchise is available in your market, overhead garage precision. What do they call it? They just call it precision.
Precision door, but I don't know why it says overhead garage. I've been curious by that. I mean, the branding leaves a little bit to be desired, but I mean, who cares if they're doing that kind of revenues? But
That's funny. Overhead as opposed to underhead garage. I guess there are some like lower anyways. All right, I'm done. Anyways, if you want to find out if this is available in your area, then you can go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. You can also see any and all franchises that are available in your area, be able to set up a free call with either Kevin or Krista. Last but not least, for those of you who either own franchises already or you own businesses, you have hourly workers on your team, or you want to, you plan to own a franchise and you want to know how to turn hourly workers in a top performing team. Well, I got to sit down with Scott Greenberg, who wrote The Wealthy Franchisee. He's probably the biggest name and speaker in the franchise space in terms of speaking at franchise conferences. And he wrote another book called Stop the Shift Show, which is a genius title. It's called Stop the Shift Show, Turn Your Struggling Hourly Workers in a Top Performing Team. So, yeah, we had a great conversation on just how to build a rock star team and just really managing and working with hourly employees in general, which is a whole beast. So
I think I've seen this guy speak at a conference.
Did you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a few years ago. But
He's good.
yeah, very good.
Yeah, Scott's a cool guy. All right, y'all. Anything else to add, Kevin, before we rock and roll?
Nothing. I'm good. Yeah.
Boom. All right, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.